Hi, my name is Bobby, and I'm the creator of Star Wars: The Old Republic Chronicles, where I make short videos featuring the main storyline of each class. Today I'm going to be doing something a little different and featuring what I think is the best class in the game, which is the Bounty Hunter. So, why is a Bounty Hunter the best class? Well, I think he does most damage, his abilities are the most fun, he has the best story, and he has the best companion. A lot of the other classes lack focus in their combat abilities, but the Bounty Hunter specifically, all of his abilities are always useful in a lot of situations. The other classes are sometimes powers and abilities that I don't ever use just because they sort of seem redundant and unnecessary. Now, the Bounty Hunter can be two different types. He can be a power tech or a mercenary. The power tech is a tank and the mercenary is all damage. Now, I'm a mercenary, which means that I have two blasters on my Bounty Hunter, and he's kind of holding that blaster right there. Kind of weird, I don't know why. Now, thing about the mercenaries, he gets two weapons. So you can see I have two weapons here equipped. And he primarily focuses on basically dishing out a lot of damage. Now, these two weapons help out on some of his abilities, like Unload, which actually uses both his blasters. Or some abilities actually use just no weapons, like the Explosive Dart, the rockets. Those are all basically powers or abilities. The Mercenary does a lot of AoE damage. These bad guys over here are about level 25. I'm level 24, so they're slightly stronger than I am. I'm going to go ahead and hit my relic here and sort of show you what Death from Above does. This is Death from Above. I'm firing all these rockets and basically just laying waste. And then here is an area effect blaster that I can use. If any of those guys were still alive, it would have hit them too, because that right there was basically just used two area attacks in a row. Unfortunately, there was only one guy to actually eat the second one. So basically, these were level 25 mobs that I just sort of ran up and absolutely destroyed. Death from Above has, I don't know, has a 1 minute cooldown, which is really not that bad. You can just move on to the next mobs. But since Death from Above isn't on, let's go ahead and let's start out with sweeping blasters. And here's four of these guys, so this could be a little rougher. But then I'm going to use a fusion missile, which is also an area effect attack, and then I'm going to start hitting these guys with some more rockets, which is more area effect attacks. And as you can see, I'm just sort of pretty much destroying these guys right now. And then there's melee. I love that as a finishing move. So yeah, level 24, fighting these level 25 guys, and I'm wasting them. I should also mention that I'm pretty stacked as far as equipment goes right now, and that's because I've been using the best crafting system in the game. There are things called crew skills, which are basically like the crafting system. And my guy right now is pretty stacked as far as items go. I've been buying pretty much the best stuff that he can get. Check out my crafting video after this one to see how I've been able to do that. So anyways, more about the Bounty Hunter and his abilities. What makes him really fun is just the way his abilities work. He's got a lot of area effects, and all of his powers are basically fun. I played a couple of classes, and not all of them are really always all that fun. Sometimes they're annoying. The cover system for the Imperial Agents and the Smugglers kind of like, a pain in the ass. It's difficult to explain, but, the Bounty Hunter is just plain fun. Alright, so now I'm going to show you the Flamethrower. The Flamethrower is pretty awesome. Every Bounty Hunter gets it, whether you're Power Tech or Mercenary. And the Flamethrower works just like a real live Flamethrower might. Instead of just doing like area damage, you can actually wave it back and forth and hit all the enemies. And I'll go ahead and show you right now. So this is me with the Flamethrower, and I can just sort of wave it back and forth, and it's going to hit all these guys, and they are all going to take damage from it. And it's, just really powerful. Typically it works both for direct damage and area effect damage, and it's a lot of fun to use. You just wave it around, and you just watch your foes just burn. It's one of the reasons I like the Bounty Hunter the most, is because they have abilities like Flamethrower, which it's just fun. It's plain fun to use. Now, strangely enough, they also get a control ability, which is Concussive Missile. So I can use Concussive Missile on this battle droid right here, and now he's out of commission, and I can go ahead and take on this brawler guy. And I use Power Shot, which charges up a powerful blast, and then finish him off with that little move. And I can move up this battle droid, use my Flamethrower, because I love my Flamethrower. and that's going to wake him up. He's going to be like, hey, where'd my friend go? And now I'm going to blast him with another missile, and then another missile, and another missile, and then unload on him with both my blasters. So I'm going to go over the tracer missile. The tracer missile basically reduces our armor rating even more. So right now I have the gas cylinder, which is reducing their increasing my armor penetration. Now I'm using a tracer missile, which is basically doing that more. And then I use a rail shot because the tracer missiles tag the bad guy. And rail shot can only be used in certain instances. It's a high damage ability, but can only be used when enemies are basically incapacitated or for some reason they are unable to move. But tracer missile will allow me to hit the rail shot anyway. So usually I'll stack tracer missile a couple times and then fire off a rail shot and bam. It's a lot of damage being done right there because of the armor rating reduction plus my gas cylinder armor reduction, and rail shot just does a lot of damage. And that is just another thing that makes the bounty hunter so great, is that he's also good against single targets or bosses, also against groups. Tracer missile will reduce an armor rating. And so he's not just about area effect damage, he does both equally as well, area effect and single target. They also have an energy shield, which does some damage reduction. So run up here, do some damage reduction, and this comes in handy sometimes PvP, jet boost. It will knock back the enemies and slow them down. So if you're in PvP and you really need to make some room to breathe, it comes in pretty handy. I can tell you right now that in PvE, flashpoints, and also PvP, I'm doing usually the highest amount of damage. Part of that is just because the class does a lot of damage. And it's also because of my my equipment, which I'm able to keep up. And watch my video on the best crew skill later to figure out how I got all the best equipment here. And also because of my skill tree and what I put in my skill tree so far. I've been doing pretty much more damage than most other players that I've come across. Now, I've been primarily focusing on the arsenal tree. I've been doing that because I thought a lot of these abilities were better for early to mid game. Leveling up from level 10 to 24. I think these came in the handiest. They increased my damage output the most. So it's put it into the iron warheads, upgraded arsenal, muzzle firing, stabilizers, power barrier, tracer missile, and target tracking. Those sort of seem to give me the highest damage. Also wanted to say, in my opinion, I think the Bounty Hunter has the best story in Star Wars The Old Republic. It really has a way of making you feel like you are a bounty hunter who's on these crazy contracts to kill some really dangerous people, and in the middle of that also having to deal with some very dangerous people, and really makes you feel like a complete badass. It's pretty awesome.
What I'm ready to do is make a pile of credits.
Now the Mercenary can choose several different types of cylinders. The cylinders are basically sort of like buffs. I usually use a high velocity gas cylinder, which basically reduces armor or increases armor penetration by 35%. So basically it's probably ignoring about 35% of an enemy's armor, which I think is a pretty good deal. There's also a combat support cylinder, which allows the Mercenary to play secondary support role as a healer. You can literally shoot your friendlies, and when you shoot your friendlies with your guns, you actually heal them, which is really cool. So I'm not going to go into PvP much this video, but I'm going to go into a little bit of running gun right now. I can actually run around and just shoot guys with rockets, so it's instant cast. So bam, I just instant cast that guy, instant cast this guy, and I can just keep running around and instant casting a lot of these missiles. And it's just going to keep hitting these guys, and they do area effect. Now the downside is that they cost a lot of heat, which means I can't keep shooting them a whole lot, but I mean in near PvP these battles can go pretty fast. So you can see I was sort of able to run around and get away from these guys, and there's always jet boost, which will give me some distance between me and an enemy. And just keep running, gunning, shooting my blasters, trying to kite people. Comes in really handy, another thing that makes this class extremely versatile. Also later I will make a video for PvP, so you can sort of see what my damage output is like versus other people of my level and higher. So keep an eye out for that one. And I guess that is it for this video. Try out the Bounty Hunter. I hope you like him. I know I do. I think he's quite a bit of fun. And please check out the next video on what the best crew skill is, or the also known as a crafting skills, crew skill, same thing, and figure out how I got some of the best items that I have right now. Also check out my story series, where I basically cover the story of all the main classes. If there's a class that you want to play, but you don't have the time to play it, go ahead and watch those videos. You'll get a good idea of what the story's like. It's sort of built like a TV series, not so much like a video game. So, thank you for listening, and may the Force be with you.